Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we sift through all the local info, the harbor director's updates, construction notices, event
Right,
flyers.
all that stuff. And we pull out what you really need to know about our community, the Channel Islands Harbor.
Exactly. We cut through the noise and the long documents. And for this deep dive, we're zeroing in on the harbor.
Yep, looking at what big infrastructure things happened this past week, October 1st to the 7th.
And how those kind of foundational efforts set the stage for a really big month of celebrations coming up.
That's the plan. We want to connect those dots for you. Show how let's call it the necessary hard work makes the fun stuff possible.
And speaking of hard work, that's thankfully winding down. Let's start with maybe the best news, construction noise relief.
Yeah.
It's here.
Yeah, this is huge. If you live anywhere near the harbor entrance, we've all heard it, right? That kind of persistent thumping noise from the Bahia Marina project.
Oh, yeah, pile driving.
That's the one. It's usually the loudest, most disruptive part of these kinds of projects.
Okay, so the official update, the one from October 1st, said that pile driving was scheduled to wrap up, right then, within that first week of October. So what does that actually mean for someone, say, standing on Silver Strand?
It means a real immediate drop in that specific kind of disruption. Pile driving sends these huge impacts through the water, through the ground, big vibrations.
Right.
When they shift to the next steps, things like putting down the decking, fittings, welding the structures, the whole sound profile changes.
So less shaking.
Exactly. The intense vibration should stop. You'll still hear construction noise, obviously, but it'll likely be higher pitched, more localized to the worksite itself. It's a big quality of life improvement.
And it's a necessary step, right? We should probably remind ourselves what all this inconvenience is actually for.
Good point. The finished Bahia Marina, it's going to be a really modern anchorage, state-of-the-art, with slips big enough for some pretty large boats, up to 131 feet.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, it's a major upgrade for the harbor's capacity, really helps secure its future as, a top spot for boaters.
And the whole project is supposed to finish up January 2026.
That's the current schedule. So
Yeah.
ending the pile driving now, it definitely signals we're, getting into the final stretch, moving from the heavy foundation stuff to the finishing work.
Okay. Good news on that front then. Now, while that noise is feeding, there's another big long-term operation that's ramping up. And this one ties directly into protecting our coastline.
Oh, the dredging.
Exactly. If you haven't heard the pile driving, you've probably seen the activity around the big maintenance dredging project.
That's right. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the USEE, their maintenance dredging program is back in action as of early October. And what's interesting here is that this is an off-cycle dredge.
Off-cycle, what does that mean? Usually there's a specific time of year for this, right?
Yeah, normally there are set windows.
Mm-hmm.
Doing it off-cycle like this, well, it kind of suggests the need to clear the channel was pretty urgent. Because starting it now, outside the usual time frame, means they had to resecure permits, deal with environmental windows, things that protect, migration patterns, nesting seasons, which usually start closing around now, late October, early November.
So the fact they got clearance to go 24/7 running all the way through February 2026.
It really indicates that the shoaling, that's the sand buildup in the entrance channel, must have gotten bad enough to potentially impact safe navigation for bigger boats. They couldn't really afford to wait.
That 24/7 operation, that's intense, but vital, like you said. It's about keeping the harbor open and safe for everyone, from fishing boats to just, folks out for a weekend sail.
Absolutely. And that safety part, that's only half the story. The other thing they do with this project, it makes it more than just maintenance. It's like critical environmental work.
Yeah.
It's a perfect example of beneficial reuse.
Beneficial reuse.
Okay.
Okay, tell us more. Where's all that sand they're dredging up actually going?
Right. They aren't just dumping it somewhere out at sea. They're using this hydraulic pumping system, think of it like a giant pipeline, to move the sand about a mile south.
Okay.
And they place it directly onto Hueneme Beach. Now, Hueneme Beach constantly struggles with erosion. It loses thousands of cubic yards of sand every year on average.
Wow.
So this dredging project, it's basically a continuous nourishment program for Hueneme. It builds up the shoreline, strengthens the natural protection against storms, protects property back there, and even restores some of the recreational beach space.
So the sand that was clogging up our channel is now protecting our neighbor's coastline.
Exactly. It's harbor maintenance and coastal management working together perfectly.
That really does reframe the noise and activity, doesn't it? Speaking of which, for people on Silver Strand, beachgoers, residents, there's an important restriction to know about during this project, right?
Yes, the crews are trying to minimize the impact. Even though it's a 247 operation overall, the USACE has specifically restricted using the really heavy equipment, the bulldozers, big trucks on Silver Strand Beach itself between 7 in the morning and 7 in the evening.
Okay, so prime daytime hours.
Right. So if you're an early morning walker or catching the sunset on Silver Strand, you should expect things to be quieter from the machinery during those times.
This sounds like a pretty thoughtful compromise for such a large, necessary project.
Okay, so we've got noise reduction at Bahia Marina and the necessary noise of the 247 dredging for safety and beach health.
And all this infrastructure work, sometimes noisy, sometimes disruptive, it's what keeps the harbor safe and economically viable. And that, in turn, helps fund all the fun community stuff.
Speaking of fun, let's pivot to the payoff. October is packed. There are 2 huge weekends of community celebrations coming right up. If you're looking for things to do, you need these dates.
Absolutely. Mark your calendars. First up, this coming weekend, Sunday, October 12th. Get ready for the always popular Ponies by the Sea Car show.
Oh yeah, that's a harbor institution. Takes over Harborview Park. And it's not just any car show. It's huge for Mustang lovers, classic and modern.
Always draws a big crowd.
It does. But they feature other cool cars too. And the best part, it's all for a great cause, raising money for Guide Dogs of America. So, horsepower and helping out.
Sounds like a perfect Sunday. But then the really big one, the main event for October, maybe of the year, the Harbor's 60th anniversary celebration. That's Saturday, October 25th.
60 years, that's quite a milestone. Speaks volumes about the community here.
It really does. And this is an all-day thing, right? Starting early, going late.
Kicking off at 10 a.m. with something totally new sounds like pure Channel Islands fun. The first ever pumpkin paddle.
I love this. Kayakers, paddleboarders, dressed up in costumes, Halloween, festive. Just a fun, friendly competition on the water.
Exactly. Seems like a perfect way to celebrate very maritime. And the weather in late October here can still be amazing for getting out on the water. Great for families to watch, too.
Definitely. Okay, so after the pumpkin paddle wraps up,
The party moves ashore around 3 p.m. The focus shifts to Harborview Park again, and also the Channel Islands Maritime Museum. The museum always does a great job connecting our history to these events.
yeah, they do. And then the grand finale for the day.
As evening hits, around 7 p.m., it's the Parade of Frights. This is always spectacular.
It really is. It's a boat parade, but non-competitive.
Right. The whole point is creativity, community spirit. Seeing the boats all decked out with lights, decorations, maybe some spooky themes, lighting up the waterfront. If you want to see our boating community shine, literally, that's the night.
It's the perfect way to cap off the 60th anniversary. That mix of, the water, the boats, the community effort, that's the harbor.
It really is.
Okay, so those are the big events. But what about the regular stuff? For folks who want to enjoy the harbor year-round and not just on special weekends, our sources had some good reminders.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start with the weekly must-do. The Certified Farmers Market. Every Sunday. Rain or shine. Right there by the water.
It's great. More than just vegetables.
Oh, yeah. Over 30 vendors usually. Fresh produce from local farms, of course, but also amazing baked goods, arts, crafts. It's kind of the essential Sunday morning thing here.
And wildlife. You don't even need a boat trip for some cool wildlife viewing.
That's right. The California sea lions. We have a pretty robust wild colony right here in the harbor. You often see them hauled out on the docks, on the rocks near the entrance. It's pretty cool to see them just hanging out.
It is. Now, if you do want to get on the water, the harbor's the place to start.
Definitely. It's the main launch point for island packers, taking you out to the Channel Islands National Park. You can get to Santa Cruz, Anacapa, Santa Rosa, San Miguel.
Quick note on that, though. A useful heads up for planning. Island Packers isn't currently running trips to Santa Barbara Island.
Ah, right. Because of dock damage out there. Good point. So focus your island hopping plans on the other 4 for now. Still amazing options.
Absolutely. And for just playing around in the harbor, lots of choices.
Tons. You can rent kayaks, stand-up paddle boards, SUPs from the Channel Islands Kayak Center. They do tours too. Or, grab a jet ski and an electric boat for a leisurely cruise.
And even if you want to stay on land but do something fun.
Wheel Fun Rentals. They have those 4-wheeled pedal Surrey things. Perfect for cruising along the waterside paths, taking in the scene.
Yeah, those look fun. Okay, last but not least, food. No deep dive is complete without talking about where to eat.
True. And the harbor has some real institutions. You got to mention Mrs. Olson's Coffee Hut.
Oh, classic.
Seriously, been here since 1974. Think about that. Serving breakfast longer than some of the marinas have existed. It's just part of the harbor's story.
Totally. And for seafood.
Sea Fresh Channel Islands is a go-to. Family-owned, been around since '85. Super reliable, fresh stuff.
And if you want something maybe a bit more upscale, with a view.
Then you head upstairs at Marine Emporium Landing to Moquica Brazilian Cuisine. Authentic Brazilian seafood, incredible dishes, and those views over the water are just fantastic. It's a really special spot.
Definitely. Okay, so let's wrap this up for everyone. Quick recap.
Right. So this week's deep dive, we cover the big news about the pile driving noise at Bahia Marina winding down, a sign that project's moving towards the finish line.
We talked about the huge 24/7 dredging operation by the Army Corps of Engineers, why it's happening off-cycle, how it ensures safe navigation, and how it rebuilds Hunami Beach through beneficial reuse.
And then we looked ahead at the fun stuff. 2 massive weekends coming up. The Ponies by the Sea Car Show on October 12th.
Followed by the huge 60th anniversary bash on October 25th, starting with the pumpkin paddle and ending with the awesome parade of frights.
Yeah. It really highlights how the harbor works, doesn't it? There's this constant, heavy-duty maintenance and investment needed just to keep things running safely.
But that work is exactly what allows for and funds all the fun, the community events, the unique character that we all enjoy here.
That's really the key insight, I think. The next time you're maybe strolling through the Sunday farmers market, grabbing coffee, or watching those decorated boats in the parade of frights, just take a second.
Yeah.
Think about the scale of effort behind the scenes. The round-the-clock dredging just to keep the entrance clear, the complex permitting, the engineering to build and maintain everything. It's this constant balancing act in a working harbor, that blend of essential utility and, well, pure fun and leisure. That's what makes this place special.